Hello and welcome to Golden Bear Insider. I'm Dan Flanagan. Glad you could join us here this month, February edition of the show. And we've got a lot to get to this month. We've got women's and men's basketball as they wrap up the regular season, getting ready for the conference tournaments. We're going to look ahead to spring with baseball and softball, all the way to next fall as well with football and new head coach Shannon Currier, track and field as well as they wrap up the indoor season. So going to start out, getting right into it with women's basketball. We're joined by interim head coach Behnke, also sophomore guard Lauren Shifflett. Thank you very much for joining us here today.
You're welcome.
And the team picking up quite a few wins over the last month, some big ones, especially at home. What do you, for either one of you, I guess, what do you think has been the key to kind of improving the play a little bit over the past few weeks?
The biggest thing for us is we stress team basketball, 16 plus assists a game. So when we play as a team, I think we're unstoppable. Against Mary, we had a lot of team basketball. We played as a team, passed the ball, and we scored 90 plus points against Mary. And I told the girls if we continue to play that way, I think we're going to be unstoppable with the rest of our games.
Yeah, like we were just talking about, I don't think we really realize how good we are, and I think we can really be unstoppable if we keep playing like this.
We really came together in that second half.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
for sure.
yeah.
Huh?
Or are we 70-something% in
Yep.
the fourth quarter?
I think you scored 60 points.
Yep, 15 threes in the second.
How many?
15 threes in the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on fire.
Yeah, we were. So hopefully we
was
can
fun.
stay on fire this weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
How much does it help with the way the conference tournament is set up, everyone getting the bid? Even when you get off to a slow start, you still have that motivation knowing you can get hot at any time and still make a run in postseason play.
Yep, and that's what we've been stressing to the girls. It's how you end the season. So these conference games at the end are really important. With even getting possible home court advantage. So just playing the season out, at the end, finishing strong. As of right now, we'd be going to St. Cloud, which would be a close game. But if we win the next four and Wayne loses, we could maybe get a home court advantage for our first conference game. So.
Which would be great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the way they have it set up now with all 16 teams advancing to the conference tournament, I wouldn't normally say that that's an advantage for some schools, but for this year, for us, it's really an advantage.
Oh, of course.
I mean, we're starting to play well. It could be a little fun here. It could really be a lot of fun.
Yep.
We get pretty lucky in those conference tournaments, I think, from the past years that I've been here.
Yeah, I
Our
agree.
first year.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Lauren, what kind of chemistry does the starting five have right now? You'd kind of shuffled through some different rotations, but really have been settled with this group now for a while.
I love the first five. I think we have great chemistry, and especially these last few weekends, we've just meshed really well together, and we're looking for not the good pass, but the great pass now. So we're working the ball around, working together, and we're enjoying playing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
A lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
What kind of things did you work on? A little bit of a shooting slump early on in the year to just kind of keep shooting and then doing a good job at getting to the basket as well to get your points.
Right. Well, in practice, we work on our shots. We shoot all the time, especially free throws. We were really struggling with free throws, and she stressed free throws like every practice. We shoot probably 60, 40 free throws every practice, so those are helping definitely.
Yeah, with the shooting, we've been having a lot of shooting practices. Mondays are shooting practices, so the girls can get a lot of shots up. And then we're adding free throws in between drills a lot, so they're getting up, about 60 free throws. So we're moving up in the conference in their free throw percentage. And then with our guards, it's just patient, passing the ball around, getting the right look. I stress to Lauren, make sure her feet are set, so when the release is there that, she feels confident with her shot.
What kind of things did you talk about kind of going into, you mentioned the big shooting performance against Mary going into that game after Minot, and I'm sure a long trip like that, really important to try to get at least one win out of it.
Yes, at halftime, that's what we talked about, was sharing the ball and patience in our offense. That's what I stressed with them, and they came out second half, and they really were patient. They really passed the ball, and we really couldn't miss second half, and that just shows how important it is to share the basketball and play team basketball.
You got 2 weekends coming up here now, one on the road coming up and then at home to close out the regular season before the conference tournament, as you mentioned. What do you think is the key to really getting that strong finish to carry you into the conference tournament play?
We go to Upper Iowa, Winona this weekend. Upper Iowa, we had a rough one at home, so we watched film on that yesterday. So I just wanted the girls to learn from that game. So going into Friday night's game, we're ready to go. And then Winona, there will be tough, but with the way we've been playing, I really think if they're there and focused, mentally strong, that we can go get Winona, and then we get to come back and finish the regular season at home, which is always nice playing in front of our fans at home.
And you got Southwest and Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls, yep, at home.
Yeah. Is it in that order? It goes Southwest on Friday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lauren, Anna Schmidt, Michelle Jones have kind of shared the point guard duties, and two very good distributors. How has that kind of helped you, on the wing and some of the other scorers as well?
Well, as I said before, we work really well together, and we really look to get each other open. I think the last few weekends we've been really trying to focus on, like, hey, I'm going to set a screen for you, or like, hey, this girl can't guard you, let's get the ball to you. So it's just like we're communicating now, and we're working together, passing the ball, sharing the ball is most important. So.
All right. Well, good luck coming up in the last couple weeks here, end of the regular season, and at home to close it out. And we'll hope to talk to you again next month.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Amanda Behnke and Lauren Shifflett here on Golden Bear Insider is getting down toward the end of the basketball seasons for both the women and the men, as they'll both, of course, have that weekend on the road next weekend, and then close out at home the conference tournament. And I think, a good point you brought up about how really for the men as well, it's worked out pretty well for Concordia this year, this format in the conference tournament, and both teams playing well here down the stretch.
Yeah, and especially on the women's side, our women have been to the conference tournament. How many years? I think there were something like 13 out of the last 15 or 12 out of the last 15 years. And this, if they wouldn't have been taking all 16 schools this year, we may not have made it, And so I think, and again, our girls are playing really well. I think both guys and women are playing well right now, and so it's gonna help. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great last part of the season here.
Definitely looking forward to it, and we, as I mentioned, are going to talk to Joey James, Mike Yahnke from the men's basketball team, and thank you two very much for joining us.
Definitely appreciate you having us.
And kind of similar way, I guess, to how we started talking with the women's team, but a improved play over the past month for you guys. And what have you seen as being some of the keys to getting some of those wins over the last few weeks?
Well, I think, first off, our defense has been better for us. We've been a little bit more consistent on that end of the floor. And then offensively, we harp on these guys all the time about sharing the basketball. And if you look at the games that we've had, 14, 15 or more assists, we have a better opportunity to win in those games. And I think it just allows other people to get involved in the game. Offensively, our flow's way better. Our spacing's way better in offense. Again, I think our motion's been much better over the past 2 or 3 weeks.
It also seems like the last few weeks, you guys have really come together. I mean, as a team, really playing hard, playing well. And I mean, there was a couple games where you guys, you really busted your tails out there. You guys really worked. And it paid off.
Yep, and we definitely did. I think one big thing is just sharing the basketball, like Coach James said. So, there was issues a lot in the beginning of the season, the second half, where we get to this mode where people would just try to do it themselves. And definitely this half of the season, it's just been, more of everybody still dishing the ball in the second half. And that's when we've come out with those big wins against Moorhead and NSU and things like that.
Huge
so,
win.
yeah.
That was really fun.
You mentioned Moorhead going back a couple weeks ago there. For both of you, I think any of the fans at the Gangeloff Center, about as exciting of a game as you can see, especially considering all the circumstances, just what it was like to play and coach in that one.
You know what? It was probably one of the more remarkable games that I've been a part of. It's one that I don't think these student athletes will ever forget about, just because of the swings of the game. You want to talk about, we're on a high, we're on a low, we're on a high, and the momentum shift back and forth. We thought we had the game won in regulation. Under a minute to play, we're up 4. Kretschmann hits a monster 3. Then we make a play. And then before you know it, goes in overtime, and then Matt Ambrose hits a monster 3 to go into another overtime, and then now we have 4 guys basically on the floor. 4 guys fouled out of the game. We bring OC in, who has not done anything in 11 or 12 days, and he comes in after having a boot on his leg and makes a game-winning pass to another freshman. We had 4 true freshmen on the floor to end that game with about 3 minutes to play, and Mike here. And so, but you know what? That's part of being a team, and that's what we did. We played together, and we worked hard at it. And you know what? I thought our guys deserved to win that game, and I'm glad they did, because we've been in some really close games and haven't been able to pull it off. But to be able to pull that off that night on alumni night, I thought was really neat for our fans and our students.
Yeah, great atmosphere. A lot of people in the building.
A lot of fun.
Kept us in that game.
It was fun.
Yeah, they're all into the game, and that just gets you pumped up even more.
It's fun,
you
wasn't
can
it?
continue to roll after that. That's the most minutes I've ever played in high school or college, 47 minutes. And I was feeling it the next night, but it was worth it. I wouldn't change it for a thing. So.
And then this weekend, you got 2 more big ones. Huge ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun
Definitely.
on the road.
Yeah, very fun.
Like you mentioned, playing the big minutes in that game, and I think Cole Olstad talked to us on one of our webcasts a couple weeks ago about just kind of pushing through now these last few games as a senior. You don't know how many more games you're going to have left. Is that something you and he and Shane Mangley have kind of talked about, of really trying to get that strong push here at the end of the year?
Yeah, we actually talked about it yesterday. We were in my car going over to Sodexo to get some food, and we all just said, you know, this is it. This is our last run. There's only 2.5 more weeks of the season or whatever it is, and it's just, let's give it our all and see what happens and see how far we can get. And we're all in. All 3 of the seniors are, and I'm sure if we all stay in and we keep our heads into it, all the other guys will follow. So.
You have Winona State and Upper Iowa coming up this weekend on the road, and played them early in the year when things were going a bit differently for you, losses in both of those games. How much motivation is there to kind of try to pay them back a little bit here in these road matchups?
Winona's always on the top of the list for the hit list, so they're fun. They're fun to play in. It's really fun to play in Winona as well. Upper Iowa, you know, they're a really run-and-gun team, but I think that we can beat them. We definitely have the potential to beat them, and I think we're gonna. I can't say that we have it 100% sure, but these coaches have a great game plan, and I think that we have the drive to beat them. So I think we can.
We've had a fair amount of success down at Winona.
Yeah, we
especially
lost
during your time.
last year. The year before that, I believe we got them in a big game.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, we've had some fun down there. Yeah.
It's a fun atmosphere to play. It's a small gym, so everybody kind of is in your face. All the fans are. So once you get it rolling, you can really have a good time down there. So.
Well, we'll look forward to those 2 games, the final 2 at home as well. And Joey and Mike, we thank you very much for joining us here today.
Appreciate it.
Joey James and Mike Yahnke on Golden Bear Insider. And again, encourage you to come out in a couple weekends for those final regular season doubleheaders. And depending on how things go with the final standings, might be your last chance to see the teams at the Ganglehoff Center this year. And certainly it'll be the senior nights and all the festivities that we do, but it'll be a fun atmosphere there in a couple weeks at the Ganglehoff Center.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Last weekend, home basketball, and we'll see what happens here.
So we will have that coming up in a couple weeks. And again, we're going to look ahead with football coming up later in the show, and also baseball and softball getting ready to start their season. So we will have that coming up a little bit later on. Dan Flanagan, Tom Rebelke with you here on Golden Bear Insider from Buffalo Wild Wings in St. Paul, just a few blocks away from the Concordia campus here off Snelling Avenue. Thank them for their hospitality here. Been doing the show here every month, but we're going to get into track and field now, joined by head coach Sam Johnson, senior Wakpor Ighovojah, and we thank you both very much for joining us.
Not too bad. Thanks for having us.
And it had quite a few meets here in January as you've come back from the holiday break, and overall, how have you felt that that group of meets has gone?
Well, we're kind of getting to the point in our season where we're focusing more on the performances that happen in the meet. You know, early part of January we trained through quite a bit. The performances aren't as important, but now as we get towards the championship season, we allow the athletes to get in a place during the week where their bodies are starting to feel a little bit better, and that's reflected on the track and in those field events. When they start throwing better, they start jumping further, and they're running faster. So we think we're set up in a pretty good place to have our best performances when it matters the most here coming up.
Where have you kind of seen progress from the team over these meets?
Well, a gal like Mariana Kramer, she has a lot of confidence right now. She's taken quite a few steps forward in the pole vault. She's also done well in the high jump, but that's not her primary event. She hit a provisional qualifying mark here in the last couple weeks, and then also in the last couple weeks we've had 2 girls enter the provisional qualifying list in the pentathlon. One's sitting right next to me here, Wakpor, and then also Erica Young. So we have 3 girls that are in the pentathlon this coming weekend that could all potentially be on the national qualifying list.
The multis.
Yep.
Those are down at Mankato this weekend?
Yep, correct.
On Friday and Saturday?
No, BS. Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday.
And Wakpor coach mentioned you have that multi-event coming up. What are your goals for there? Talk about being a national qualifier, but what kind of maybe events are you really focusing on to make sure you kind of have on point there as you enter the pentathlon?
So this last week has been more about just like quality and not so much like quantity, but really just like getting those reps and not like wasting any reps. But we've been focusing a lot on like the jumps, just being aggressive in hurdles. And we already have that 800 training base, so we haven't been like doing anything with like long running, but really just being aggressive and coming mentally prepared.
And you're healthy.
Yep.
You had a tough year a couple years back. Bounced back pretty well from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're working on the multi-event. I know a very strong performance in a relay, in your relay, the 4x400 last weekend. How do you kind of balance training for the multi-event and then also working on your sprints and the relays, your other events as well?
How do I balance that? I mean, just being ready, always being ready to be like prepared into being thrown into anything. Like I know I'm gonna complete in multis, but I also know the role I play on the relays too. So just like being prepared and like knowing what I can contribute to the team in any way.
All right, I was just kind of thinking, I mean, in comparison maybe to some other sports, track it sometimes can feel a little bit less like a team sport, I would think, if you're training individually. Does it help to kind of be on those relays to make it feel a little more like a team sport?
It does really help a lot. Just when you just see the time continue to like shave down every week, you like really start like bonding more with your team and really like sharing that and going into each meet and just like attacking the race.
Sometimes it's got to be hard to find the time to train. I mean, especially in the Ighovojah Center when there's so much going on in there. And I know you guys have different schedules throughout the day. I mean, that can't be easy all the time, can it?
No, so with the multis, we're always the first people at practice and the last ones to leave.
Yeah.
We're there all day. It's just kind of the nature of the sport. When you're like practicing 7 different events, you just have to know that you're going to put in hours of time there. So, and time goes by when you're having fun.
Oh,
so
you're having fun,
you don't even think about it.
And Coach, the pentathlon athletes you mentioned, I know you've also had some on the men's side in the multi-event that have given you very strong performances as well. How can those athletes kind of give you a spark as you get into the rest of the conference championships coming up in a few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, this really does set the tone. In the last couple of years, we've had very strong multi-event performances from both the men and women. So we look for that to continue to be a staple for us. But this weekend, you know, we're hoping to walk away with points from both the men's and women's team. Tyler Nomowitz, he's ranked #1 in the conference right now in the heptathlon, and he didn't really have a great meet when he put that score together a couple weeks ago. So he's certainly going to be a contender there. And if we walk out of Mankato on Monday afternoon with double-digit points for both the men and women, I'll take that as a win.
Yeah. All right, well, I'd like to thank both of you very much. Good luck here in these next few meets, and talk to you again soon.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Sam Johnson, Wakpor Ighovojah here on Golden Bear Insider. We are going to get into football coming up next, but first we'll take a quick break as you are watching Golden Bear Insider, a stream-powered production.
It was January 14th, 2011, playoff time, when mere mortals fall, but the great ones create their own destiny. Like Barry Patterson and his against all odds Hail Barry. He launched it past the front line, cleared the secondary, and threaded the needle to victory.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wing Spear Sports.
Practicing the fundamentals, that's the key to success. At Northwestern Mutual, we focus on proven principles, facing challenges together to help reach your financial goals.
O'Gara's is a proud sponsor of Concordia Golden Bear Athletics. O'Gara's, come on in.
Welcome back to Golden Bear Insider. Dan Flanagan, Tom Rebelke with you, and we are pleased to welcome Concordia's new head football coach, Shannon Currier, along with assistant Joe Lardinois. Thank you both very much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
So we'll take a little bit of a look forward, kind of talk about, I know you announced your recruiting class with signing day here last week, but I guess just first off, the hiring announced back in December. What have these last couple months been like for you?
It's been real exciting to be back at Concordia University, back with people I'm familiar with. Leadership with Tom and the vice president of the university have been really supportive, and just rekindling some relationships with alumni has been a lot of fun. We had an alumni function last week that was real successful. We had about 60 former CSP football players attend.
A lot of great pictures came out of that.
Was there?
There's a lot of them, yeah.
I'm getting into Twitter now, so I had a couple tweets from some of the pictures. But just overall, a lot of fun. We've been, I guess we call it organized chaos recently, trying to get things in place, and we're still trying to finalize our offensive coordinator position. But
I got to tell a quick story here. When we hired Shannon, we offered him the job. We came to an agreement like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, and he was in Chicago at the time, traveling home from somewhere. He arrived back in town at 3 o'clock, and he was over at HR at 3:45. He got off the plane at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. He was over in HR at 3:45, getting his keys and his pass and everything else he needs. And I think if I'm not mistaken, you had a home visit the next day on Saturday?
I had to take the recruiting test on Monday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Monday, I had a 8 o'clock recruiting test, which was kind of a battle. Over the weekend, I did a lot of the practice tests, but that doesn't quite prepare you for the real thing. I had to pass because at 10 o'clock, I was at Highland Park. That night, we had a home visit with another student athlete. So
that was on Monday then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
right. But anyway, talk about hitting the ground running. He gets into town, and 45 minutes later, he's in his office. So you can see how excited he is to be back here. So.
Yeah, certainly excited. I guess just kind of looking back, you'd been out of coaching for a few years. When did you kind of make the decision that you wanted to get back into coaching again, and what attracted you to coming back here to Concordia?
I think just after visiting with Tom and the people at Concordia and really doing some soul searching, last few years have been just kind of floating around thinking I was more valuable to society than what I've been doing. I miss relationships with people, working with people, leading the program. So when the opportunity came about, I started really thinking about it, and it became real clear that I need to be back in football. And ever since, it's been real excited to be back.
Well, as I mentioned, you announced your recruiting class last week, and the full list of the student athletes available on cugoldenbears.com. But I guess for either one of you, what was kind of the hope? What were you kind of players were you hoping to grab, and student athletes as well with this recruiting class?
I think our biggest need was in the offensive line and the secondary. We currently have 5 offensive linemen. We wanted to get bigger and longer. We wanted to create depth at other positions, get as many defensive players that could be difference makers at some point as well. So we did achieve the goal of the offensive line. We signed 4 offensive linemen we like a lot. One from Highland Park here in St. Paul, another from Burnsville, a Texas young man, and also one from Florida. So I think we got a good start. We're certainly not done. But we felt successful with the amount of time we put into it, that we got a decent start to the recruiting process. And all that, maybe Coach Lardinois can talk about our recruiting plan a little bit and how we're going to do things differently going forward and why we'll be more successful in years to come.
Yeah, the overall objective moving forward is to kind of put an emphasis on finding guys that have an uncommon mindset, going into how we're going to approach things with the general workmanship of what it's going to take to turn this around and make it better. We're going after guys. We know that who we are and what we're about is, isn't for everybody, and we're very intentional moving forward with the type of guys that we're going to bring in, and no doubt in our minds we're going to do our homework and make sure that what we're trying to do here, what we're looking for, these people have, these guys, these families, these groups of people that we're going to be bringing in are going to have, because ultimately we're looking for big picture guys. We don't want just good football players. We want good people. Our organization, the business that we're in as football coaches we're in the business of people, and if you find good people, we can make good football players, good football coaches out of good people.
And I think you have a few of those guys right now left over from last year, over the last few years. You got some guys there. Your cupboards aren't bare.
Exactly.
You got some talent. You got some guys who are willing to really step up and work hard, and you can see it. I think I see some pictures from the early morning workouts and with the strength conditioning. It looks like they're having fun. They're working their tails off.
Yeah, it's been very good. The players have been very receptive. They've bought in. Last night we had a nice team meeting talking about our strength plan and why we do what we do. Just talking about continuing to have more passion and more, raising the bar of our expectations of their effort, and being more of an influence on the rest of the team. And instead of being the thermometers measuring the temperature, we need thermostats that are controlling the temperature. And we feel like this morning, the response from last night's meeting was great this morning. We had our best practice. So yeah, the guys are doing everything we possibly can. We're trying to certainly add more to the mix, more competition, more depth. We're trying to get our alumni base around us as well and connect them to the current team. We're starting a community project at Horace Mann here this week with some recess time, finishing hiring the staff. So we got a lot of things going, but all of them are extremely important to our improvement of the program.
Talk a little bit more about the re-engaging with the alumni.
Yeah.
There's
a few guys that me personally have been in contact with throughout the last few years, but overall there's been a lot of guys that I was really close to, haven't talked to for, 8-10 years. So now, getting emails from them and phone calls, maybe having a lunch here or there has been real fun. So we started the function last week. We started marketing or campaigning to get people to come back a couple weeks ago, but there was a lot of people from the eras that when I was around, but we also had representation from years prior, and even after I was here, there was kids that came from the recent years too. So that was a lot of fun, just seeing those guys interact, seeing them now with their families that they've moved on in life and they're successful fathers, and so that it really brings even more importance to me in our role to help these kids develop as people, so we can help them get those jobs and prepare them for life after football. And it really heightens the awareness, I guess, of that role we have, seeing the kids I coached before now in those positions in life.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the type of people you want to recruit. I guess just in general for fans who are excited for this fall, what kind of things can they expect to see when they come out to Seafoam Stadium in September?
We hope we see a lot of big plays being made. We're going to be one that's going to have a great effort. You see guys flying around, having a lot of fun. You're going to see a team that's together. They're going to have great chemistry. Offensively, we're going to mix up paces and be fast-paced at times. You're going to see the ball in our big play people's hands. So we have a couple, big play guys returning, like Tom had mentioned, and we plan to get our best players the ball and let them do the things they can do.
I was going to say, so finish up a little bit more with some of the recruits that we brought in now over this. I think you had a couple of transfers come in.
Yeah, we're not quite signed on a couple of transfers, but we're going to have some before it's all said and done.
Well, you did have one or two.
We had
that are in now.
We had Ricardo Johnson, the quarterback from Creedmoor Hall. That's very talented.
Yeah.
He's a dual threat quarterback, so certainly he's going to add some big plays. But then also we signed two receivers we like. One from Chicago at 6'5", that's very elusive. For a 6'5" guy, he's got the wiggle to be a phenomenal receiver. And then we had a guy late from Florida that's real similar to Elquam, the kid that's the returning, player of the year, or the newcomer of the year last year. So we're going to have a few more guys. Plus, there's a couple of kids that redshirted last year that I'm seeing good things in our workouts from. So we're going to have a variety of athletic kids, and we need to get them the ball in space and let them do their thing.
Good.
And just really, get our team to understand that if the offense is having a tough day and we only score 7, the defense better hold them to 6. And there may be a day our defense gives up 49, we have to score 51. So really just striving to have that team attitude where, whatever side's failing, the other side's got to pick it up for the day. And we have to win a special teams game. And Coach is our special teams coordinator. We have enough players there to be successful, in the biggest plays of the game. And we expect to win that phase every week. And then if we can find a way to win one of the other two, we think we can have a chance to have some wins next year.
All right, well, we thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on the job here, and good luck over the next few months.
Looking forward. It's going to be a fun
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be real exciting. We have a spring game April 23rd.
Yeah.
We're going to have a big festivity afterwards for families and supporters and anybody interested, so we'll get more information about that. But thanks for allowing us to come and be part of the show.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to all of that, and of course all that information will be available on cugoldenbears.com once it's all finalized. But again, we thank Shannon Currier, Joe Lardinois for joining us here, and we are going to close out the show talking about softball and baseball. A little bit of a look ahead to the spring, is softball actually already beginning their season last week. Baseball will get it started here at the beginning of March. We'll have that coming up. First, we take another break. You're watching Golden Bear Insider, a stream-powered production.
O'Gara's is a proud sponsor of Concordia Golden Bear Athletics. O'Gara's, come on in.
It was January 14th, 2011, playoff time, when mere mortals fall, but the great ones create their own destiny. Like Barry Patterson and his against all odds Hail Barry. He launched it past the front line, cleared the secondary, and threaded the needle to victory.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, Spear, Sports.
Welcome back to Golden Bear Insider. Dan Flanagan, Tom Rebelke with you as we wrap up the show here with softball and baseball. We're joined by head softball coach Bob Bartel, freshman Justine Schattner as well, and thank you both very much for joining us. Began the season last week out in Las Vegas, some games out there as part of a season opening tournament, and what did you kind of see from the team over those 5 games?
I saw we hit the ball very well. And actually, I think we actually pitched better than our stats will indicate. Our pitchers did what we asked them to do, work in corners. They just weren't getting the calls, so then we had to move in and get more of the plate. And when you get most of the plate against good hitting teams, you know the ball's going to get hit hard. But I was happy with the way we hit the ball, but we certainly have some room for improvement in all aspects of the game.
Justine, you were certainly a big part of that hitting performance. I believe 8 for 15, hit the home run as well. And what did you kind of learn from your first collegiate games?
Just to never get down on yourself. Like my first at-bat, I had a strikeout, and I did kind of get a little nervous after that, but Bob actually has us do a lot of visual and breathing techniques, and I think that has helped a lot.
You had 2 homers.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, 2 big hits. Yeah.
Two big homers. I think they're both to get us the lead in both games. So.
Yeah.
What kind of things were you working on over the fall? I know you have some fall work that you do and to prepare for this season after you got here to Concordia.
We really break a lot of things down. We do a lot of drills and focus on all the little parts that make everything flow well. So whether it's hitting drills or fielding drills, we focus on all the little things so that when we're ready for games, we do everything right.
First time the team's gone out to this event out in Las Vegas, what kind of attracted you to bringing the team out there to begin the season this year?
We decided to go out to Las Vegas this year because we are unable to take a spring break trip to Florida this year based on our calendar schedule for school. So we tried to make up some games by going out to Las Vegas, and I was really happy that we did because this is the earliest we've played ever since I've been around. And I think we were 3 weeks into practice, and about that 3rd week, the girls are starting to get a little restless and a little antsy, ready to play. Instead of the inter-squad scrimmage themselves, they're ready to go out and play some other teams. So I think it was good timing for us. Also gives us a chance to get back to practice and work on what we need to fix. So it was a good experience for us.
There's quite a few teams from the set out there.
Yes, Augustana was out there, Minot State, Mary, and that might have been it. But,
really?
Yep. So, and some regional
Weather
teams.
was good?
A little chilly the first night. I won't lie to you. When the sun went down, it got a little cold. But the rest of the games were beautiful. 60, 70-degree weather and sunshine. So
Fields were nice.
Fields were in good shape. Yes.
And you had a chance to play 2 Concordias while you were out there. And of course, Brian Jamrose is at Concordia Portland. We got to rub it in again. You know, I mean,
Brian.
He and I talked a little bit during that game.
Brian texted me after the game and gave me a congratulatory comment, sort of. But no. It was actually a good game. They'll have a good team entering the Division II ranks, so they'll do well. And Concordia Irvine might be the best team that we'll face all year. They hit for power, they hit for average, they run the bases, and they have quality pitching. You know, so that was a good test for us.
That's good. You know what? Concordia softball's always wanted to play the better teams. You know,
right. We didn't. You know, we got the draw that we got, and fortunately we got to play. You know, 5 quality teams, and 2 weekends from now we are up in St. Cloud's Dome and play a regional crossover. And as you know, our region is very tough with the MIAA schools and the GAC schools, so it'll be another 5 grueling games.
You feel pretty set with your lineup and the pitchers you're going to use from what you did in those first few games?
Yeah, we mixed up a little bit, our lineup, batting order a little bit. Unfortunately, we're missing our leadoff hitter and starting left fielder, Tiana Zapita, and she might be out for a while here. So we're going to have some kids step up and fill her role in. And we ended up moving a freshman up to the leadoff spot, who I had planned on batting ninth because she has speed and she's basically another leadoff hitter. But Carly Hart, we moved her up to the leadoff spot, and she performed very well. So we just need a couple other kids to pick up the loss of her in the field and on the bases, because she had some speed as well. So.
Justine, you get these first few games under your belt, and as Bob mentioned, going to St. Cloud, then starting the conference season. What did you kind of learn from those that you can take going forward the rest of the year here?
Just once again, never to get down on yourself. In the field, I did struggle a little bit, and it kind of got to my head, but I just focused and tried to pull through. It helps when you have a team as nice as ours, too. Everyone's very welcome and genuine, and they believe in you just as much as you should believe in yourself, so that helps a lot.
So where are you from, Justine? Tell us where you live.
Twin Lakes, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
She almost said Minnesota.
She wants to give Minnesota. And what do you study?
Exercise science.
Oh, good. Yeah, good for you.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to talking to you over the next few months as we go through the spring season here, but we thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bob Bartel and Justine Schattner here on Golden Bear Insider, softball team beginning the conference season in March, and those two events in St. Cloud for the rest of February that they'll be participating in. And those regional crossovers, always a nice thing, is it kind of get your team a taste of what they're going to be seeing the rest of the year.
Yeah, and then like Bob said, that our region is really a tough region, the MIAA and the GIAC. They're both. They got a lot of really good teams down there. You know, softball's got a little bit of soft spot in my heart for softball, being that that's why I started it. I started at Concordia back in 1983 coaching softball. So it's got a little bit of a soft spot. So it's always fun to watch.
And certainly we'll all look forward to the spring. This time of year, everybody looking forward to spring, and talked about that with softball. We'll finish up the show with baseball as well. Baseball team getting ready to begin their season at the beginning of March, but we're joined by head coach Lunch McKenzie, or actually assistant coach Marcus McKenzie, and senior Zach Rengel as well. But we thank you both very much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having us.
And I guess if you can just tell us a little bit about what's been going on over the past few weeks, kind of when you began practicing and what you've been working on to get ready for the season.
I'll start out by saying I've been a long-time listener, first-time interviewer, so this is fun.
All right.
But we started January 11th, so the first day we were back, we started that Monday. And, overall practice has been great. Typically this time of the year, we find that the monotony of it kind of gets in there. You're in a dome, you want to get outside, but I think we've done a great job this year with our kids of just working hard every day, trying to get better. Unfortunately, this last week, the Concordia plague hit us, so we've had about 12 guys sick with the flu. So we're just kind of trying to piecemeal practice together, but overall, the guys have done a great job.
Everybody back yet?
No, we still got 4 or 5 guys that'll be missing today due to the thing. So we're trying to tell them to eat healthy, no Burger King for those guys.
Yeah.
And Zach, where are you kind of at in your training?
Well, I just first want to say that I'm excited to pipe it up and frolic with the Booches this year. We're excited with working in the dome and getting better as a team. But right now, as far as pitchers go, we're just getting our arms ready for Arizona, trying to build up that pitch count, get our arms in shape, and just be ready to go right when we get down to Arizona.
So when you get over into that pole barn, how many pitches are you throwing? You must be on a schedule.
Yeah, we're on a schedule, so we work it up by 15 pitches each week. Last week we did 60 pitches. So we're just kind of working it up, essentially treating it like a game, just so we're ready right when we get down to Arizona. We've seen live hitting for months, so just trying to really treat it like a game.
60 pitches per week, per outing?
Yeah, so we'll work it up to 105 pitches by the week before we get to Arizona. So it'll be essentially like pitching 7 innings.
Right.
So we'll be ready to go. Our arms will be in shape to then do that down in Arizona.
I got to tell you, Zach is he's the president of our Student Athlete Advisory Council. You're a busy guy.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. And I'll tell you, I got to say thanks for all you do for that. You do an outstanding job with all that, and very involved, and it's very much appreciated.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's nice being able to have multiple roles and just kind of being the student athlete voice and just kind of getting involved with different areas on campus. It's very rewarding, and I'm going to miss Concordia next year, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to miss you. Yeah, he's done a great job for us.
you talk about kind of the bond you have with Concordia, and your group of seniors, you know, have not only been on the team for 4 years, but you have a pretty good group of guys that have been key contributors for all 4 of those years. And just maybe sort of the bond you have with those guys as you try to take the next step forward this year.
It's hard to put it in words. I mean, it feels like we've grown up together. Just coming in freshman year, you know, short 4 years ago. You got Eric Faznat and Ryan Poppets, myself. We've all played since freshman year. Alex Laporte. So it's more of a brotherhood than anything. Not even teammates. It's just one of those things where you get to know them on and off the field, and I think that's the thing we'll miss the most is that those friendships, those bonds that we've made with each other on and off the field, and it's just exciting to go have one more go at it, and hopefully this year is our best year, and just do the best that we can and
have a little fun.
Yeah, have a little fun, exactly. And I think that's one thing that can't get lost in translation is just having fun and realizing that it's just a game, but at the same time taking it seriously and reaching your full potential.
And Marcus, the team taking that step I mentioned, going to the conference tournament last year, and certainly wanted to kind of take that another step forward at least this year. How do you see the team kind of breaking down right now, strengths and areas you want to see still get better before you go out to Arizona?
You know, we're excited. I think every season starts, you're excited. You think your team can do a certain amount of things. And, you know, once you get out there and you start playing, you kind of get to learn, you know, where leadership falls and just kind of how you deal with the ups and downs of it. I think that's the hard thing to find right now in the pole barn and in the dome because you're doing the same thing every single day and you're not competing. So you don't see how guys deal with losses and wins and success and failures. But, you know, we've got a great group of kids. They've worked really hard. They seem like they get along. I think they've gotten really good this year at just getting past the failure part, understanding you're going to fail in this game. We're excited. We have a lot of depth. You know, we're going to expect some freshmen to step in and do some things for us, and that can always be kind of who knows kind of thing. But our pitching, we've never had more depth. We got some young freshmen we're excited to see pitch. Our seniors, Zach, Cody Knaus, Tyler Schmitz, Yuji Suzuki are going to play a big part for us, which is nice to have some senior leadership. And I think that's the biggest thing, you know, like you talked about. We've had some seniors all grow up together and all start as freshmen, and now they're seniors. So they've been through the battles, they've been in the trenches, and I think they've done a good job of leading both facets, offensively and defensively.
Have you seen anything in practice where maybe a freshman or a sophomore who might step up for you this year? And
I think we have a pitcher. His name's Gus Farland. He's a freshman. And,
from North St. Paul.
Yeah, and he's really impressed not only the coaches but just his teammates as well. I think he has an opportunity to be a really good pitcher right away. So we're excited definitely to see, you know, how he does this year and you know, just kind of being there to watch that and support him.
Sure, and on a side note, his aunt pitched for me softball back in I think it was 84, 85 area. I think she won the state tournament for North St. Paul High School in 84, I believe. Then she came on to Concordia. Anyway, that's the Varland family. You know, they've been very athletic, very, very big part of North St. Paul.
Well,
as well.
His brother will be coming in next year too, so we're excited.
Yeah, so yeah, good.
And I guess just finally, mentioned you start the season beginning of March. You go down to Arizona. Have gone to Tucson the last few years. Kind of who are you going to see down there, and how does that trip get you ready for the conference season?
We're going to play 5 games down there, so we're down there a little bit shortened spring break this year due to the leap year, but we're going to play a doubleheader on the 4th against Malone, who's I think been a very good team at the Division II level. We're going to play Southwest State in a doubleheader on that Saturday, and then we're going to take on a NAIA school on Sunday. So 5 games, kind of a quick trip, but nice to get down to the warm weather, let the guys get acclimated to just the different depth perception of being outside instead of in the dome, and should be a good test for us. It's always a nice trip, win or lose. You kind of come back with an idea of where you're at, and we're excited.
We'll give you a little time when you get back as well to you know, brush up on some of the mistakes you might have made.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely.
Well, we thank you both very much, and good luck with the season. Talk to you here over the next few months.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So that will close out the show as well. Again, want to thank Buffalo Wild Wings as they host us here every month. You can come out. We put it up on the website, CUGoldenBears.com, a few days before we're going to tape, see it live, and then we, of course, post it to Concordia's YouTube channel later on in the week. So definitely encourage you to check that out here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Again, we're just a few blocks away from the Concordia campus off of Snelling Avenue here in St. Paul. Want to thank all the guests as well from women's and men's basketball, track and field, football, and softball as well. And we'll be back again next month. Tom, it was fun again. And anything else you want to talk about here?
No, let's get it going.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, this has been Golden Bear Insider, a stream-powered production.